awful lie, 'cause it's breaking your heart. I watch as it tears you apart. Now you're crying that it just ain't fair. Oh no. How low can you go? I think I got a right to know, pretty darling. Things you've been doing to me ain't right. And baby, people playing to see that you're breaking my heart. Baby, you just tear me apart. Now I'm crying that it just ain't fair. Oh no, how low can you go?
So, see here, I've got Pro Tools pulled up. This is a show from Pilgrimage about a month ago. This is Maggie singing her song Relentless. So let me just give you a little taste of the on-process vocal. Here we go.
On phase, 'cause this life is gonna leave you breathless, but you'll catch it every time.
All right, so not bad, but we've definitely got some room for improvement. So let me A/B the vocal with the processing and without, and then I'll go through and tell you each element I'm adding. Okay, here we go. Here's raw.
On phase, 'cause this life is gonna leave you breathless.
Here's processed.
On phase, 'cause this life is gonna leave you breathless, but you'll catch it every time.
As you can see, we gain a lot of clarity. We clear up a lot of that low-end mud. We're taming some of those S's, some of the harsher stuff up top. Then we're adding a little harmonic information. So the first thing I like to add is this IK Multimedia Tape Machine 80, which is a clone of the Studer A80 tape machine. I've got that at a 15 inch per second tape speed, which is going to roll off some of that top end and give it some nice harmonic information, which can be difficult to achieve in live world recording through a purely digital console. Next, we've got some basic EQ rolling off a lot of that low end, dipping some of that low mid and some of that mid information where it gets boxy and takes away from the intelligibility of the vocal. That's followed by a de-esser, shaving off some of those S sounds, and then followed by multi-band compressor, which is taming a lot of that low mid, adding more clarity, some of that mid-range, some of that upper mid-range, and some of those S's even more so. It's then followed by soothe, following up more on that vocal clarity, getting everything from about 1.4 kilohertz down to 70, just carving out some of those resonant buildups from the microphone, from her being so close to the microphone. It's then followed by a multi-band limiter, which I'm driving into a little bit to get a little more harmonic information and tame some more of that high-end information. It's then followed by another soothe from about 200 hertz up, all the way up to really about 13 kilohertz, and that's getting some of that 5K harshness and some of that 2K, two and a half to 5K harshness she has in her vocal. So that's kind of the start. I go through, I have a preset that I load onto every vocal, and then I like to commit this to the track. So I'll go through and print it to a new track, which I have right here, which I'll show you And then I like to do a little bit more processing, because that's just kind of like getting it to a decent place to start to add more color to and work with. So next thing, I add even more EQ, taming some of that harsh stuff up top. Like I said, that 3.5 to 2.5K, she's got a lot of that built up. That's then followed by the Universal Audio 1176 Blueface. I've got the attack a little past 10 o'clock, and I've got the release at about 3 o'clock, and 8 to 1, so this is catching those big peaks. I'll just show you that.
On phase, 'cause this life is gonna leave you breathless, but you'll catch it every time.
So just kind of squeezing the vocal, not really doing more than 5 to 7 at the big peaks. And then I am following that with an LA2A, so I was just chopping off those peaks, so this compressor would have an easier time just smoothing everything out.
On phase, 'cause this life is gonna leave you breathless, but you'll catch it every.
So that's really just adding some more harmonic information and squeezing the vocal even more. I'm doing probably 2 dB at the most. And then finally, this is a new plugin I've been messing around with from UAD. It's a Dolby A-type multi-band dynamic enhancer. This was used as a noise reduction unit back in the day, so it can actually, it's called a compander, so it compresses and expands at the same time. But this adds a really nice vocal air and helps it cut through the mix. It's subtle, but you can definitely tell a difference.
On phase, 'cause this life is gonna leave you breathless, but you'll catch it every.
Very subtle, but it's nice. It's then followed by my vocal effects. I've got a room reverb with about 0.6 second decay. Pro R, just on the default with a 1.8 second decay. True Verb, which is another room reverb to kind of bring it closer to you, put it in front of something. Capital Chambers, which is a great plugin, longer decay.
On phase.
It's Lexicon with a really long reverb that almost turns into a pad. That's then followed by Sound Toys Micro Shift, which is like an H3000, Eventide H910, H3000 clone. Really love this. It gives the vocal perspective. And then Doubler doing the same thing with just the stock settings, which I can A/B just the pitch to give you an idea of what's that doing.
On phase, 'cause this life is gonna leave you breathless.
Again,
On phase, 'cause this life is gonna leave you breathless, but you'll catch it every time.
again, very subtle difference. It's just adding a little perspective, a little width. To put the vocal in front of something and kind of spread it out and not have it so smashed into that mono image. So that is how I like to process live vocals and bring them to life. Thank you for watching my stream. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Check 1, 2. Check.
I love